Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai.
First, we just understand a little about the three forces and what do the three forces mean. In the beginning, they say there was nothing, and in that nothingness, these three forces were there, but they were in a state of rhythm and balance, and so they could not be seen. There was nothing manifest. Then it was God's will that something should be manifest. And how would this manifest? So one of the forces said, out of this nothingness, one force came out and it said, okay, I'm ready to make something. And that was the active force, which we call as Rajas. But how to make and with what to make? I want to make a house, but I need cement, I need bricks. Right? So who will become the cement and the bricks? So another force came out and it said, okay, you want to make, I'm ready to become. And that was Tamas, the passive force. The active force, the passive force. Then it was seen that these two forces, they cancel each other unless they meet in a particular way. They have to complement each other. And unless they complement each other, so the third force was needed to see that they meet in a proper way, so that something can manifest. And this basic principle of life, this third force, which was called Satwa or the neutralizing force. So wherever there is life and manifestation, it is these three forces. I have a desire to make something, to do something, that is the active force. But obstacles come in the way. Whether I will fulfill my desire or not decides on how the active force surmounts the passive force or the obstacles which come in the way. And that will depend on the third force, the neutralizing force. The third force is not in our hands. That is why it is called as Satwa. Sat means to be. It has the nature of being. Satwa. that which contains the nature of being. And we are always becoming, we are never being. And because we are always becoming, we don't know what that Satwa is going to do. We can't read it. Now Newton came out with a beautiful law called every action has an equal but opposite reaction. Nothing new in this law. This is the very foundation of our life. What does it mean? What does it mean? Every time I make a desire, every time I desire for something, it is an active force. And every action has an equal but opposite reaction. So the minute I desire something, within me I am already creating a passive force which is going to block that desire. So if my desire is fulfilled, if my wish is fulfilled, then it depends on something else called the third force or Satwa. So Satwa brings the active force and the passive force into meeting in such a way that my desire is fulfilled. I keep crying throughout my life that whatever I want to do, I can't do. There are obstacles coming in the way all the time. And why do these obstacles come in the way? Because I am every moment accumulating tamas, passive force, every moment. And why am I accumulating tamas? Because every moment I am not free of desiring. Even now, you're sitting over here, but there is a desire that you will enjoy the lecture. It's there. It's hidden there. Right? So, every moment there is a desire. My son leaves the home, inside there is a desire that nothing should happen to him on the way. Right? Son goes for the exam, inside there is a desire that he should get good marks. I go to work, there is a desire that today must be a good day in the office. So every moment we are not free of this desiring. A patient comes to meet me, there is a desire inside that he must be cured. And every time I desire, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, I am accumulating tamas or passive force, and that is within me. And that is going to lead to more obstacles in my life unless I am free of this desiring. I don't know, am I coming across? You get it? And if we go deeper into ourselves, because this is every moment, even if I'm brushing my teeth, I feel they should be brushed properly, there is a desire inside. I'm not just letting it go and brushing on its own. I'm not free of this desire. And this desiring is creating more and more obstacles for me and more bondage for me, bandhan. Now what is an event in my life? What will I call an event? Supposing I'm walking along the road and somebody passes by me, is it an event? It is not an event. There's nothing has related over there. Right? But if that person hits me like this, then an event has happened. An event has been formed. How do we connect to events? Supposing there's a car and there's a tree. Is there an event? There is no event. But if the tree falls on the car, there is an event. Right? So, what is an event? I'm walking down over here, I pass this, there's no event. But if my foot bangs against this, then it becomes an event. Right? So, an event is something that relates to people, or it relates a person and a thing, or it relates two things. This is an event. And our life is one kaleidoscope of one event after the other, and with every event we desire happiness, we desire pleasure, we desire comfort, as the kaleidoscope of events keeps on changing. And this very desire for comfort, this very desire for pleasure, this very desire for happiness creates a passive force called Tamas, which is going to bring obstacles in my path. What is the basic cause of misery? The basic cause of misery. What is the basic cause of suffering? And that is the desire for happiness. Unless we are free of that desire. And it's every moment. Every moment. So, we go into what makes an event in our lives. Now, supposing some person insults me and something comes up to here, and then I say, okay, nay, I don't want to be like him. Right? Has an event happened? It has happened. I've already connected. In that very saying that I don't want to be like him, I'm saying I'm better than him. Right? Supposing I go to meet a sick person, what is deep down within me? That he is sick, it's okay, but I don't want to get that disease. He is sick, it's okay, but I don't want to get that. The minute I have that desire, I don't want to get that disease, an event has happened, I've connected. Supposing we just imagine, visualize that there is a time and space where every event possible in our lives is lying there to be taken, and something happens in this time and space, and from that time and space this event comes to meet us. How does it happen? What is it within us that invites that event? I meet somebody on the road, he hits me like this. Why did he hit me like that? Why did he hit me like that? So, why did he hit me like that? Was he at fault or was I at fault?
I at fault.
Why?
Because
I'm passing on the road. He is also passing by. He hits me like this. Why am I at fault?
Just like you said, Kek, there is a set of events and I must have done something that happened to me right now.
Right. So, there is this place in time and space where there is this event that I must become angry. There is this event that I must become angry. So, why did he hit me on the road?
Bring out that anger.
To bring out that anger. So, what was it that made him hit me?
The desire to be angry in me.
The desire to be angry, but where was it?
In me.
But where was it lying, the desire to be angry? In the
In
subconscious?
the subconscious mind.
In my subconscious mind there was anger already
There.
lying. And that anger wanted to eat some food. And the only food it can eat is to become more angry. If it can make me a victim of anger, then that very energy which I'm releasing in anger, it becomes more powerful. So it wants its meal today. So it sends a signal to that guy who's just walking along the road, and he hits me like this. I say, it's your fault. Why did you hit me? I get angry. It's not his fault. Who has to say sorry? You get what I'm trying to say? That anger has sent a subconscious signal to that poor chap. He's hit me like this. My anger, which was lying in the subconscious mind, suddenly comes to the conscious mind. I become a victim of it. I become angry, it gets its food, it goes back into the subconscious mind, fully satisfied, it's eaten its food, it's become more powerful, it's drawn my blood, and I say, you're at fault, you hit me on the road, but I don't know anything, that I made him hit me on the road. See, cause and effect. Cause and effect. And till we realize this, that everything that happens in our life has been invited by us, we cannot be free of this. Now, supposing I go into a room and I see that all chairs are arranged, haphazardly, not properly, they're not arranged. There's a chaos in the room. So what happens? There's a feeling inside that let's arrange it. So I create an event where I arrange the chairs. What was the relation between me and that event? What was the relation between me and that event?
To prove that you're good. You have that feeling of being good.
There was a feeling inside that things are not in order. So that very feeling made me arrange the chairs. So what is it that invites events? What are the invisible strings that invite events? Emotions. Emotions, bhav, they are the invisible telephone lines which bring all the events in our lives. Right? So every time we react to life, we feel the reaction is caused by the outside event. We don't see it as an effect producing cause. We say the cause is lying there. We don't say that the cause is lying within us somewhere and it has produced this effect outside. We say the cause is there and the anger is the effect. No, anger is the cause and the event is the effect. It's the effect producing cause. Every moment within us, some reaction from our subconscious mind wants to appear on the stage of life, wants to take part in the drama of life, wants its food. See, real upvas, fasting, is not of food. It has nothing to do with food. Real fasting is if I can, that anger which wants to eat its food, if I can fast over there, not allow it to eat its food, then everything in my life will change, all the events will change, because now it cannot invite that event. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying. So the reaction is lying in my subconscious mind. It wants to come on the stage of life. It wants to appear and it keeps on inviting these events. Now, this does not happen haphazardly. It happens in a certain cycle. And that cycle has a relationship with the planets. Has a relationship with the planets. What is sanskar? What is sanskar?
Same memory patterns.
Memory pattern. What is sanskar? What is that memory pattern which we are talking about?
Anger in Genesis.
Okay, anger comes into my conscious mind. It has come from a sanskar of anger inside the subconscious mind. Right? What does it mean? How will I describe that sanskar? That within my subconscious mind, there is a political party called anger. It has 99 members. Suddenly it has a desire to make 100 members. So it sends one of its 99 members out into the conscious mind. It says, if you become angry, you will be able to attract one more member. So then 2 members go back into the subconscious mind. From 99 they become 100 members. You get it? So now my sanskar of anger, that political party in my subconscious mind has 100 members. Right? Same with jealousy. Same with the other emotions. So these sanskars, they are there lying in the subconscious mind, and they are political parties of that emotion. Not just that emotion. Anger is not a sanskar, but the collective anger lying within me, which is vibrating all the time, which wants to come out, is sanskar. Right? The pattern of anger. And it is soaked in emotion. Okay. Now, let us try to make a difference between what is soul or jiva and what is ego or aham. The difference. Now these sanskars which we are talking about, they are made of two things. They are made of two things. One is their planetary substance, and within that is the light of the soul. नहीं समझा? नहीं समझा. Planetary substance with the light of the soul. You were not there yesterday. Day before yesterday. Okay. Okay. We'll just go into it. That sanskar of anger, how is it made? What substance makes that sanskar of anger? Which cement and concrete is it made of? Where does anger come from? There is an I inside that anger which wants to become powerful, right? Which wants to express itself. Where does that I? That is the light which comes from the Atma, the soul. So it is lying in the center of that anger, right? It doesn't really want to become powerful, but it wants to be free of that anger. It's lying there in the center of that anger. And that anger is made of a planetary substance. Which planet will we say? Mangal. Every time I am angry, which substance am I expressing? The substance of Mars. You get what I'm trying to say? Not just it's a mixture, but we'll say mainly it is the substance of Mars. Right? If I say I'm attracted to someone, then I'm expressing the substance of Venus. Now you're getting what I'm trying to say. Okay? So all my emotions come from the planets. All my emotions. Supposing you come to my house and I am very generous with you, then it comes from, generosity comes from Jupiter. Right? But I go into a state of depression, then depression comes from Saturn. So my whole spectrum of all the emotions which are possible for me come from the planets, planetary substance. Right? So within me there is the Atma, and that Atma sends out its light, and that light wants to be free, but it gets trapped in this planetary substance, anger, jealousy, until it wants to be free of that. You get it? Okay. Now, there is also within us an ego. How is the ego formed? How is the ego formed? A child lying in its cradle, and the child cries a little and the mother runs and feeds the child. Then again the nappy becomes wet, again the child cries, the mother runs, changes the nappy, right? And then the child sees that it is the center of the universe, it cries a little, everybody in the house is running around for it. And it thinks that definitely I am the king of this world, nobody else can be the king, I am the emperor. Right? So he starts making this false notion that I am the king, and everybody is running around that child. Of course, when the child is 5 years old, the king has to go to school, and there all other kings have come, Everybody who comes in the school thinks he is a king, so then there is a fight between each other. This ego is born. This ego is born. Now, what is the difference between what the soul wants and the ego wants? What is the difference between what the soul wants and what the ego wants in our life? Supposing I go to a guru, why do I go to a guru? Why do I go to a guru?
Get rid of the ego.
To get rid of the
Ego.
You sure? You sure?
People want peace.
For peace.
Sukh Shanti.
For peace. I'll say, Guru, I want, this is all in a mess. You please give me some peace. So the Guru will say, take this mantra and go and chant it. And I'll take the mantra and I'll go to sleep. And I'll chant it. Peace. Or I'll go to the Guru. I'll say, my son is not well. You please make my son well. All I'll say, my son has to get married. Just see that he gets a good wife. Right? So, what does the ego want in life? The ego wants peace.
And happiness.
The ego wants happiness.
Pleasure.
The ego wants pleasure. The ego wants comfort. But does the ego want freedom?
No.
It does not want freedom. It does not want freedom. But who wants freedom? The soul wants freedom. The Jeev wants freedom. And freedom is not peace. Freedom is not sitting in meditation and getting peace. Right? Freedom is something totally different. In our ashram, there was this Swami who came, and one day this Swami comes and tells me that there's this lady, every time I go in the kitchen, you see, I'm here, we have to live on bhiksha. And she tells me that you're a beggar and you're begging and this and that. And she calls me all kinds of names. And it really pains me inside when she calls me names, I feel my soul is burning inside. You please tell her something. So she remains quiet. Said that, why did you come to the ashram? You came for peace or you came for freedom? Tu shanti mate aayo ke mukti mate aayo? If you want shanti, if you want peace, then I will tell her. But that won't solve the matter. That won't solve the matter. Tomorrow somebody else will do something. Day after that somebody else. You will not be free. And if you can listen to what she is saying, digest what she is saying and rise above it, you're free of it. What difference does it make, whatever she's saying? So the ego wants to stop her. But the soul wants to be free. See, the soul wants freedom. But we don't want freedom. We want shanti. We want happiness. સમજાય છે? જીવને મુક્તિ જોઈએ છે, અહમને શાંતિ જોઈએ છે. આપણો રસ્તો મુક્તિનો રસ્તો છે, શાંતિનો રસ્તો નથી. રામદુલારે બાપુ સાથે 7 વર્ષ જીવ્યો. 7 years I stayed with him, and he used to say, શાંતિ તો કબ્રસ્તાનમાં છે. શાંતિ is in the graveyard. ક્રાંતિ કરો તો શાંતિ મળશે. Now, what happens before we are born? What happens before we are born? Before we are born, the ego is not formed. The seed of the ego lies, but it is not formed. It takes at least 3 years of birth to really form the ego, 3 to 5 years. These days it's formed a little earlier. So before we are born, there is no ego. There is the Jeev which decides which parents he wants to be born through. And what sankalp does the Jeev do? What sankalp does the Jeev do? That day we did Dronacharya. One of the meanings of Dra means that which is in liquid form. Dravya, which is in liquid form. So, when a child is born, all his sanskars are in liquid form. Right? and they can still be changed. But the minute he gets angry, then one sanskar from liquid form has become an ice cube. It's crystallized. You get what I'm trying to say? And as he grows up, those sanskars which are in liquid form, through acharan, through repetition, they become sanskars. Now, so before he is born, all those sanskars are in liquid form. So the soul is a little free. And the soul says that in this birth, I want freedom. In this birth, આ જન્મમાં મને મુક્તિ જોઈએ છે, શાંતિ નથી જોતો. એ સંકલ્પ કરે છે. કોણ સંકલ્પ કરે છે? જીવ. જન્મ લેતા પહેલા કે આ જન્મમાં મને મુક્તિ જોઈએ છે. I want freedom. પણ 3 વર્ષની ઉંમરમાં અહમ બંધાઈ જાય છે. એ જીવને કહે તું એક બાજુએ બેસી જા, મને શાંતિ જોઈએ છે. મુક્તિ ગયું ખાડમાં. સમજાય છે હું શું કહેવા માંગુ છું? હવે એને સંકલ્પ કર. He has done the sankalp. Before being born, the soul has done a sankalp, a desire that I want freedom. So all the events which are going to come in our life are coming by his invitation. They are coming to free us. But we get rid of them through the ego and get more into bondage. I don't know. You're getting what I'm trying to say? So I say, this event, somebody is sick in my home, so this event of pain has come. But this has come because he has invited it, he has asked for it. આપણે કહેશું, અરે મેં તો કંઈ કર્યું નથી, આ રોગ ક્યાંથી આવ્યો? મેં કોઈનું ખરાબ ઈચ્છ્યું નથી, તો મને આ રોગ ક્યાંથી આવ્યો? પણ જીવે માંગેલો છે. સમજાય છે? જીવે માંગેલો છે મુક્તિ માટે. For his freedom, the soul has asked for it. So that soul, now let us again go back to mathematics, our bank balance. That what is the soul? The soul is the light of the spirit. જીવ શું છે? આત્માનો પ્રકાશ. એટલે આત્મામાંથી 100 રૂપિયાનો પ્રકાશ છૂટો પડી ગયો. 100 rupees of light separated from the atma became the jeev, and it got trapped into different patterns, different sanskars. Anger no sanskar, dukh no sanskar, pain no sanskar, right? Jealousy no sanskar, lobh no sanskar. All these sanskars which are lying in my subconscious mind, those sanskars are made of 2 things: that light of the Atma and surrounded by planetary substance. Now you get what I'm trying to say? And that light, before being born, when all these sanskars were in liquid form, it was not yet trapped. It says, this life I want to be free, and all the events in my life must come according to my sanskar, so that it brings freedom. It doesn't happen that way. Because then by 5 years, the ego has formed, and it says, I don't want to be free, I want shanti. Get rid of this event. Get rid of, run away from pain. Run after happiness. આપણે બધું સાંભળશું. આવતીકાલે આપણો જન્મપત્રી લઈને કોઈક જ્યોતિષ પાસે જાશું કે જરા મેળાપ કરી દે ને.
Before the birth, the balance is full 100.
Before the birth, the sanskars are still in a liquid form, so that light is a little free, but it knows that as soon as it is born, it's going to get
fragmented,
imprisoned in all these sanskars, and it wants total freedom. It wants to go back into the Atma, so it wants freedom, but it is bound in all these sanskars. So it says that whatever events come in my life must bring freedom.
So when we die, the sanskaras still solid.
When we die, they become liquid.
After death, it becomes liquid, and that remains.
See, if I've got angry in this life 100 times, all 100 angers don't go. They become one drop and they go. See? So now, I thought this concept has got clear. Now, જીવ બંધનમાં છે એનું લક્ષણ શું? What is the characteristic that the soul is in bondage? એનું લક્ષણ શું? જીવ જ્યાં જીવ બંધનમાં છે એનું લક્ષણ શું?
Emotion and desire.
This is very difficult to express in English. That is why I tell you. जीव बंधन में है, उसका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, उसका लक्षण, what do we call in Hindi? Sign क्या है? बहुत very easy.
The frustration that I'm in bondage.
ગુજરાતીમાં કેવું બહુ સહેલું છે. You need to say in another language is very difficult. That is why. એનો લક્ષણ શું? જીવ બંધનમાં છે એનો લક્ષણ શું? જ્યાં મારો જીવ બળે, જ્યાં મારો જીવ બળે, મારી ગાડી કોઈક લઈ જાય ને મારો જીવ બળે તો જીવ લોભના બંધનમાં છે, ને મારા પૈસા કોઈ લઈ જાય ને મારો જીવ બળે તો જીવ લોભના બંધનમાં છે, અને મારી ગર્લફ્રેન્ડ સાથે કોઈક વાત કરે અને જીવ બળે તો જીવ જેલસીના બંધનમાં છે. આ સમજાય છે? એનો લક્ષણ શું? યુ ગેટ ઇટ? જલતા નહીં है भीतर, कभी कभी तो जलता है. तो જ્યાં જીવ બળે, wherever the inner soul, it burns inside, and it can burn in any emotion. In any emotion, what is that soul saying? Please free me from this emotion. You see? दुख એને નથી લાગતું, दुख જીવને નથી લાગતું, दुख અહમને લાગે છે, પણ જે ચૂકવે છે એ જીવ. ચેક અહમ લખે છે, બેંક બેલેન્સ કોણ ચૂકવે છે? જીવ ચૂકવે છે. આ જો સમજાય તો. The check is written by the ego, but the bank balance is paid by the jeev, the soul. So, I feel hurt, the ego feels hurt. And the ego says that get rid of this person who is hurting me, get rid of this event which is hurting me, get rid of this event which is not bringing peace in my life. And the soul is inside burning. He's saying, don't get rid of the event, make me free of this event. But the ego always wins. We get rid of that event, and that event will happen again in our lives, because again the soul wants to be free in some other form. You see, this is how Puri Shrava. Yes, we do repetition of events. Shrava means to flow, Puri means repetition. Repetition of events. Puri Shrava. Events keep on repeating in different forms in our lives, and until we are free they will keep on repeating, because we always try to change the event. Either somebody else is at fault, or the government is at fault, or the weather is at fault, or the child is at fault, or the school is at fault, but something is at fault. We cannot live a life where we see there is no fault anywhere, there is only my soul asking for freedom. It's a little difficult because I'm taking up this topic after a very long time, very, very long time. And the ego keeps on by getting rid of the event. Supposing somebody is causing me a little pain, then I run away from that event, I get rid of. All the ego is doing is postponing the pain. It is not being free of the pain. And the only way of being free of the pain is to live through that
pain. Wow.
Live through that.
Very nice.
જો it happens with everyone, એમ નહીં કહેતા. આપણે કે Raman Maharishi, he reached the highest state of consciousness, so he went up in the lift and reached the terrace. But cancer came from the from the staircase, round, and when he reached the terrace, it came to meet him. So that is always there. So, of course, he was already in a state where he could observe the cancer, he was free of it, his consciousness was free of it, and he knew that passing through it, he is free of it totally. But for us, we get identified with it, we cry, we don't want this, get rid of this. I'm not saying don't take medicine, take everything, but realize that this has been invited by me, and it has been invited by me for a specific purpose, and that purpose is freedom. I don't realize it because my soul wanted freedom. He made this sankalp. We don't know how to make sankalp. I don't know the English word for sankalp. All our sankalps are nothing but thoughts. All our sankalps are nothing but thoughts. And our thoughts cancel one another. Right? I have a thought in the morning that I want to today sit down and do so much of work. But then suddenly he phones me, there's a good movie. I said, forget the work. Let's go for the movie. That's the power of our thought. There is no power in our thoughts. Sankalp is something totally different. And because before we are born, the soul has the power of sankalp, not the ego. It makes this sankalp. That is why all these events happen in our lives. So, now, when do we feel the ego and when do we feel the soul? Same answer.
If it burns, it's the soul. And if I feel happy and fine.
See, આપણા કોઈ વખાણ કરે તો અહમને અનુભૂતિ થાય છે કે જીવની અનુભૂતિ થાય છે? અહમની અનુભૂતિ થાય છે. ખાલી આપણા માટે અત્યારે એક જ જગ્યાએ જીવની અનુભૂતિ થાય જ્યારે જીવ બળે છે. બાકી બધી અનુભૂતિ અહમની છે. Sometimes when we see a sunset, for that fraction of a second, જીવ જરા ઠરે, it gets calm. But again the ego comes in. I tell God, what a beautiful sunset. Gone. Gone. For that fraction of a second, we are in that space. We see something beautiful. It doesn't last. So now we have to separate two feelings within us. The feeling of ego, the feeling of soul. And the feeling of jiv only when it is burning, when we are in pain. We never feel the soul. We are always feeling the ego throughout our life. Whether we are doing bhakti, whether we are going to the temple, whatever we are doing, the feeling is always of ego, not jiv. The only time we feel the jiv when it is saying, please free me from this sanskar. Please free me from this pattern. Please free me from bondage. And we always run away from that pain, so it gets postponed. Right. So this is a very important feeling. Very, very important feeling when we are burning inside. Now what is the way? How do we free the jiv? What is the way? And what is enslaved? What is in bondage? What has changed? Can light become darkness? It cannot become darkness. So something else has happened over here. Supposing we are in pain, કોઈકે આપણને ગાળ આપ્યું છે, કોઈકે આપણને નીચે પાડ્યું છે, we are in pain, somebody has insulted us, somebody has said something to us, and we are in pain, or somebody has said your work is useless, right? And we are in pain. What do we do with that heat? Do we use that heat which we are feeling inside, or do we throw it away? Do we waste it?
No, you live with it.
We always waste it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So if you start living with it, in the sense you start being aware of it, that the pain is there, and then you're going to dissolve that pain.
Okay, how will we do it?
Supposing if somebody says to me, oh, you are, you know, and I get angry with it. You know, somebody calls me names and I get angry. So if I watch myself that I'm very angry at that moment, I feel the emotions of that anger. I'm being with that anger. So what is going to happen that after a while, it may, I don't know, I may be wrong, it may dissolve.
It will. It will. How will I be with that anger? What do I have to do to be with that anger?
Just be one pointed, just feel that.
Feel it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Feel
To
that.
sense it. Rather
Yeah.
than feel it, we will say
Yeah.
sense it.
Yeah.
We'll use the word sensing.
Yeah.
We'll come down to the 5 senses.
Senses.
Now I'm feeling pain.
Yeah.
There's burning inside. But the minute I say that he does not have a right to tell me this,
Yes.
then I've lost the heat.
it.
The heat has gone. વેડફી નાખ્યું. ગરમી બધી વેડફાઈ ગઈ. હું કહું કે એને કોઈ હક નથી મને આમ બોલવાનું, તો વેડફાઈ ગયું. પણ if I hold the heat, the sensitivity of the heat, જે ગરમી છે, just hold it. Then what am I holding?
Anger.
Anger. I'm holding anger or pain or something I'm holding at that time, or jealousy. I'm holding it, and there is this heat, this fire down, and in that fire what is being roasted?
Anger.
And what is lying in
Ego.
the
Ego.
anger? There is nothing like ego, when they first when science went first into the subatomic particles, they found that they could not see these subatomic particles. So how to study them? So they used to have an accelerator where they would accelerate the subatomic particles and send them into a cloud chamber full of gases, and they could not see that particle, but in that cloud chamber of gases, that particle would make a line or a pattern, and by studying that pattern they would say this particle is like this. You get it? There is nothing like the ego. The ego can never be seen, but the ego expresses one particle like anger. It goes into the cloud chamber, becomes a pattern, and it is through that we understand what our ego is. The ego is never seen. It is always unseen. It is always unseen. But the pattern of anger, which is made in that cloud chamber, we study that pattern of anger and we say the ego must, that subatomic particle must be like this. The same thing happens in sadhana. Right? So, we now hold that heat, and in that heat what is cooking? One is the anger, and what is cooking in that anger? Two things. જીવ એટલે little bit એ પ્રકાશ અંદર છે ને એ એંગરમાં, એ એંગરના સંસ્કારમાં એ પ્રકાશ છે, જીવનો પ્રકાશ છે. અને એ એંગર શેનાથી બનેલો છે? ગ્રહોની મટીરિયલની. ને હવે મને તપની અગ્નિ મળી ગઈ. You get it? Because તમે મને કંઈક કીધું, you have told me something, I'm feeling pain inside, I'm burning inside, so I've got the heat which I need, I'm just transforming it into tap. And in that tap, I'm holding that anger with the light of the Jeev. And in that sudden holding, if I can hold it for a certain amount of time, which Patanjali calls as dharana, suddenly the anger pattern will separate, the planetary substance will separate, and the light will separate. I will be observing my own anger. The light, because the light can only observe, see. It will be watching its own anger. There will be this sudden feeling that I am separate. Sudden feeling, we'll have to just go a little deeper into this. This is the first moment of freedom. First moment. From that day, if I've experienced this once, I can never be unhappy again in my life. I can never be depressed again in my life. I can never be sad again if I've experienced this for a fraction of a second. Zen called this as satori. It's not possible because I have suddenly, for that moment, had a glimpse of the top of the mountain, the truth. And that truth is the light of the Atma, Jeev. I don't know, have I come across? So, I have to hold it. Now, just now we said that what is being cooked in that is that sanskar, the pattern which is made of planetary material, and the Jeev. But it is not so simple, it is something deeper than this. This is a glass of water. I pour water into the glass. The water takes the shape of the glass. But does the water become the glass?
No.
No. Now, the jeev, that light, it gets trapped in this sanskar, which is the glass. But does the light become the glass?
No.
Then what happens at that point where it is trapped? એ કેમ બંધનમાં છે? એ શું એવું બની જાય છે ત્યાં? એ આ ગ્લાસનો શેપ લઈ લીધું. આ સમજાય છે? એ એંગરનો એ શેપ લઈ લીધું, ગુસ્સાનો. It's taken the shape of anger. But what is transmitted over there, that it forgets that it is light and it thinks that it is anger. આ સમજાય છે? એક ocean છે, દરિયો છે, and the wave comes up, it is anger, and in that wave it forgets that it is water and it thinks it is the wave and it is separate from the ocean in that very moment. In the same way, I have become angry. That jeev, the light of the jeev is in that anger. See, that light can never become darkness, which is anger, but still somewhere it forgets that it is light and it thinks that it is darkness, anger. What happens at that time?
Ego.
Something is exchanged. So when I pour water into the glass, the water takes the shape of the
Glass.
but the water does not become the glass. Okay. But there is a feeling of the glass and there is a feeling of water. Two separate feelings. Right? So there are four things here. Water, glass, feeling of water, feeling of glass. Water does not become the glass, but it forgets its feeling and takes on the feeling of the glass. Satya koi divas asatya bani na sake, but for that momentary time it forgets ke it is satya and takes on the feeling of anger. You see? So the light never becomes that, but that light forgets its sensitivity of light and it becomes that anger. So in this sudden separation, now what happens? What happens? There will be four things now. Four things have to be there. We are living four things. Pela, હું કહું કે હું ગુસ્સામાં છું. Supposing I say I am angry and I say, okay, is there a feeling of I which is separate from the anger? You will say no. There is anger.
That is me.
There is a feeling that something is separate from this anger. But if I say feel an I which is totally separate, you will say no, I cannot feel the fourth thing. There is anger. There is something separate. I am aware of that anger. But the feeling is still of anger. You will say, I am angry. I am the wave. I am not the water, which is the Satwa of the ocean, the essence of the ocean. So, when this sudden separation happens and this realization of truth, there will be four feelings. There will be feeling of anger, feeling of I, there will be sensitivity of anger and sensitivity of I. Four different things. And when in this state there are four different things, suddenly we are free in that moment. Totally free. ભલે પછી નેક્સ્ટ મોમેન્ટમાં બંધન ફરીથી આવી જાય, પણ એ એક ક્ષણ અંદર રહી જાય છે જ્યાં હું મુક્ત હતો. Now, બહુ લેટ આવ્યો, પૂરું થવા આવ્યું. At a certain point, I may feel કે આ ગુસ્સો મને ખેંચી જાય છે, કે આ ફિલિંગ મને ખેંચી જાય છે. તો એ પોઈન્ટે શું કરું? તો આપણે ગઈ વખતે વાત કરી, ટેન્સ રિલેક્સ ધ મસલ્સ. તો થોડીક સ્પેસ બને જે આઈ કેન હોલ્ડ ધેટ એંગર, રાઈટ? બાય Okay. Another thing which we can do is chintan. Not chinta, chintan. There was this great Taoist master, Lin Chi, and Lin Chi's friend, his 20-year-old son died. And for 3 months this friend would sit in depression, and the whole farm, nobody would plant the farm, the field was going dry. So the wife said what to do. She went to Lin Chi, and Lin Chi came and he said to the friend that, do you remember the days when you were not married, how we played in the fields? So suddenly the friends started remembering those days when we were playing in the fields. And do you remember the day you got married? How happy you were to get married? I said, yes. And at that time you were so happy. Did you have a son? No, I did not have a son. Then why are you unhappy now that you don't have a son? Right? And suddenly he woke up. That okay, the son came for some time and he went on his journey. But why should I not plant the fields? You see, this is called chintan, but we do chinta. Oh, રહી નથી શકતો, એ તો ગુજરી ગયો, એના વગર મને ચાલતું નથી, ચિંતા કરીએ આપણે, ચિંતન ન કરીએ. તો આપણે ત્યાં પ્રથા હતી, ચિંતનની પ્રથા. Meditation, not worrying, but we worry. Right? So, do a little bit of chintan. Okay, how many times have I done this anger? So how many times have I repeated it? If I tell you that come and see my bedroom, tomorrow again I say come and see my bedroom, day after then you will say forget it, I am bored. But why are you not bored of anger? Why are you not bored of anger? So many times you've seen the same bedroom. Right? But we are never bored of anger. Right? So do this kind of chintan that will help to hold that heat, that I want to be free, I don't want to run away from this situation, I want to be free, and at that point there will be freedom. Now as we practice this, this is called tapa. As we practice this in our life, fasting is not tapa, running away to the Himalayas is not tapa. You have to stay with your wife, because the heat can only come from one source, husband and wife. It can't come from anywhere else. The wife is always there to throw something at the ego. The ego feels pain. The jeev starts like this. The heat is there. Start doing tapa. So easy it is. So it needs a family life. So don't be fooled by all these people who wear bhagwa clothes. Doesn't mean anything. So the more we practice this in our daily life, this freedom will come. Then we will realize something else. We will realize that I was angry and I separated from that anger. And now that memory of that separation is within me. So I'm sitting over here, I go back into that memory. Gurdjieff calls this a self-remembering. Going back. That memory of that moment, I try to relive that moment. Then he comes and says, you're a very beautiful lecture, so my ego goes like this, it gets inflated. And at that moment I go back into that state, I remember that state. And at one point, Sukhmaya also I will separate. In pleasure also I will separate. Initially it's very difficult to separate in pleasure because there is no feeling of real I or soul. Only in dukh do we have a feeling of real I or soul. In sukh there is only feeling of ego. So it's very difficult. But by remembering, going back and back into that experience, holding that experience, when he is saying, okay, you have a beautiful lecture, okay, the ego enjoys it, drop the ego, go back into that experience. At one point, when he is saying it, I will be separate from it. And then something new will happen in my life, something very new. I'll say, he said something to me, there was pain. He said, your lecture was very good, there was happiness. There was the feeling of pain, there was the feeling of happiness, But the I which separated on both times, the feeling was the same. That I which separated, so that which is observing the happiness, which is observing the pain, that I will always be the same. It will never change. It will slowly become more and more powerful, but the quality will not change. It will still be of light. From a small light of a lamp, it will become a big light of the sun as the light accumulates. But it will still be of the quality of light. Now, this process won't happen in the way I want it to happen. It will happen in another way. Which way will it happen? હું કહીશ કે મારે મુક્તિ જોઈએ છે, તો એ મુક્તિ મારે જોઈએ છે એમ નહીં થાય. Not the way I want it to happen. I want to be free, but not the way I want it to be free. It won't happen that way because somebody else has a 50% share in this business. Who has a 50% share? Somebody else has a 50% share in this business of sadhana, which I'm doing. Somebody else has a 50%.
The opposite person or the thing. The opposite person or the thing.
Somebody else.
The
planets.
The samskar.
The planets. They have a 50% share. How do they have a 50% share? Because that sanskar which I want to be free of is made of two things. The light of the soul and the planetary substance. And the planet says you can't do it in your way, you have to do it in my way. So, supposing I'm sitting over here and my right nostril starts working, and I say that the first 10 minutes of the right nostril are of Saturn. So I say, in this moment I want to be free of anger. Is it possible? No event will come which will bring anger for those 10 minutes because the planets have their. But in those 10 minutes, a moment may come where I feel very lonely, where I feel depressed, where I feel without energy. You get it? So he'll say, be free of that. You can't be free of anger in these 10 minutes because I'm ruling these 10 minutes. Then Mars will come. And Mars will come, okay, the time for anger has come. Somebody is going to hit you on the road. Or the wife is going to throw one shot and you're going to feel really upset and, right? Be reactive. Just be ready. So that is the time when we'll be free of anger. And then Venus will come. And Venus will say, okay, this is the time only for jealousy. So at that time I'll be passing somebody's home and I'll say, oh my friend, he has built such a big home and my home is so small. And I'll feel jealousy inside. Be free of jealousy. So it will not happen in my timetable, it will happen in the timetable of the planets. Because the planets rule the sanskars. They don't rule the I, they don't rule the light which is in the sanskaras, which is observing the sanskaras, but they rule the sanskaras. That planetary substance. So they will have a 50% share in this. All events which happen in our lives happen because of two things. One is the role of the planets. The second is the inner soul has asked for them. So the soul has said, I want to be free. So it wants to be free of a certain emotion. That event is connected with a certain emotion. That the minute that event comes, that emotion comes on the, the stage of the mind, and the soul says, now be free. But at that moment, if the ego comes in, I'll say, don't look at his home, forget it. Do something else, eat an ice cream, be happy. So I'll forget it. And that jealousy will go back into the subconscious mind and I'm not free of it. Yeah. So this is how, if we want freedom in our lives, how events happen in our lives. All the events that happen in our lives have been invited by something which is lying within our subconscious mind. And they all come because the soul wants freedom, but the ego wants shanti, wants peace, wants happiness. And we are all searching for peace and happiness. We don't realize if the soul is free, then happiness is our intrinsic nature. We don't have to search for it. Wherever we are happy. Whether the outer event is of sadness, the outer event is of happiness, where the soul is, the feeling of the soul, there is always happiness, there is always fulfillment. Right? Let's stop here. Any questions you want to ask, you can ask.
Supposing you see, so if you get the feeling, say, let's pick up jealousy, and you know that you're aware of it as well, and you still can't control it, can you control it with a mantra?
See, divide your sadhana into two parts. One the cricket match and one the net practice. All mantras, all meditation, all exercises, all prayers are just net practice. But if you can't hold that jealousy there, then you got out on the first ball. However much net practice you may be doing throughout your life. If the bus is late and you complain, then you got out on the first ball. You get it? Supposing we want to make a balance sheet of profit and loss. If I've done 100 pujas, there is no profit. You get it? If I've done 100 fastings, there is no profit. If I've given 100 donations, there is no profit.
That means that you have to have a very acute awareness.
But for that, I'm doing this net practice.
Okay, so that net
So
practice.
at that point where the bus is late, the complaint comes to here, the bus is late, it's not come in time, I'm burning inside, hold that complaining, be free of it. That is why I did the meditation in the morning for 1 hour, or whatever I did in the morning, the puja, the mantra, whatever it is. Now there is a science of mantra, and that is the science of sound, which I can't explain today. You'll have to call me on another day to go into the science of sound, because it's a long science. And that can free me to a certain extent. But again, if I get angry over there, I'll be in bondage again. There is a science of sound, because everything is sound, and that those sounds are arranged in a scientific way in the mantra. You get it? And every mantra has an outer meaning and an inner meaning. Supposing I say a Jain mantra, Namo Ariyantanam. So the outer meaning is I bow down to the person who has reached. But that has nothing to do with the mantra. It has nothing to do with the mantra. That mantra, Namo Ariyantanam, is a movement of by sound. I am creating a movement of a specific energy within me to achieve a certain purpose. You see? And it has nothing to do with the outer meaning of that mantra. You get it? So, Na means Nad Bindu, that Ghanibhut Shakti where everything is. Mo means it wants to express itself. How does it express itself? Namo, Arham, Ariham. Through Ha is breath. Is the first Vyakta sound. And it wants to express itself through breath, and when it expresses itself through breath, it comes into the world as and this is the movement of a certain energy within me. So mantras have an outer meaning and an inner meaning. If you say the Gayatri mantra, it will have an outer meaning and an inner meaning. The inner meaning is the science of sound. It cannot change for a Hindu, Muslim, Jain, Sikh, whatever. But the outer meaning will say, okay, only Hindus say this, and Jains say this, and Muslims say this. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But the inner meaning will be the science of sound, which is totally different. Because when sound resonates, it evokes certain energies, it creates certain situations within me, and I must know all that.
So, sorry, same mantra, somebody else can say, I can say it. So, but obviously our sounds are different. So, what impact will it have on us?
No, just now we are so dead to the mantra, it doesn't really have any meaning unless we know the science of the mantra, what we are trying to say. Like in the Gayatri, there are 24 sounds in that. Now, what is each sound doing? Which part of the subtle body is it hitting? What energy is rising over there? Now, supposing you're sitting there on the bus stop, the bus is late, the complaint is coming up. At that time, you can use the science of sound to balance it so that you can hold it.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to explain. Yeah.
You can use the science of sound. And where in my case, I have used Merkar a lot. I feel the complaint rising and I can't hold it. I want to say, oh, this bus system is useless, right? And I want to hold it, so I just go, and that helps me to hold the sound, to hold the heat inside.
Yeah.
So what about your past anger? What is there? Can we bring that out?
Okay, supposing I have 100 rupees of anger, and the bus is late, so out of that 1 rupee of anger has come to the conscious mind. I hold the heat, suddenly there is freedom from that anger, so that 1 rupee burns away. It cannot go back to the subconscious mind. How much is remaining? 99. Now another situation will come. At one shot you will not be free of it all. Right? But now it has become weak. That sanskar has become weak or not? The momentum has become weak. Again another situation. Again 1 rupee will come out. You get it? And slowly as we walk the path in our daily life, in our normal living, a point will come when we'll suddenly feel that the chains are now breaking. You know, there is a feeling of freedom inside, a sensitivity of freedom inside. And as that happens, at one point it will gather big momentum. That is why also it is not very advisable to do any odd mantra. You get what I'm trying to say? Supposing I start doing the Gayatri mantra and I can't work with 1 rupee of pain, and suddenly that Gayatri mantra creates a situation where events come in my life where one by one pain keeps on coming out. So instead of getting rid of pain, more pain will come in my life and I can't face it. And it has happened because I've used the mantra, because the soul wants to be free. So it wants to be free fast. So I'm using the mantra to create a situation where I can be free more faster. Right? So all these mantras, they contain a lot. So we don't use them haphazardly. There must be a science in them. You must be ready to use them.
But so many times people tell us, okay, use the Gayatri mantra, do japa so many times. Then they are really of no use.
You ask him the science. Why are you telling me this? Have you understood what is lying in the Gayatri mantra?
Superficial.
I want to ask this question. This 3 SRV we do 24 hours, which is we are aiming for it. Does it also bring some of the sanskars out in your life to face them?
No.
No?
They will come in their normal course.
They'll come in the
Normal course. But what will happen, because the breathing is in rhythm, the prana is in rhythm, that state of separation will come very easily. We won't have to make so much effort. Okay. The bus has come late. Yeah. The complaint is come, but the breathing is in rhythm.
Yes.
So it's very easy to hold it. You get it? Yeah. But if the breathing, then what will I do? The bus is late, I have to reach office, gone. The heat has gone. I wasted the heat. But the breathing is in rhythm. Suddenly I realized that it cannot be otherwise. It had to be
this way.
Late. It can only be this way. And I'm going to be late for office. There's nothing I can do. Now hold it. Be free. So rhythmic breathing will become a foundation. A strong foundation where I can build my house.
એમની આપણે બ્રીધિંગ કરતા હોય
હા,
આપણું માઇન્ડ ઓટોમેટિક ત્યાં હોય
હમ.
એટલે તમારે બીજા પછી વિચાર તમને આવે નહીં, ગુસ્સો ના આવે, કાંઈ ના થાય, just you are waiting for the bus.
તો પેન તો આવે,
આવે
દુઃખ તો આવે. તમારે ઓફિસ પહોંચવાનું હોય,
એમ
હા.
one thing મને પૂછવું છે
પણ એ જોવા માટે તમને એક ફાઉન્ડેશન મળી જાય.
ઓકે
હા.
ઓકે હા હા
આપણે કઈ સૂકા પત્તા નથી કે મને કઈ નથી થતું.
No, no.
મને કોઈ કહે કે કઈ નથી થતું એટલે હું સમજુ કે જડ જ છે. હા. Right? રામ ભગવાન પણ હા જંગલની અંદર રખડે છે, આ આંખમાંથી આંસુ જાય છે કે સીતા ક્યાં, એને ખબર છે કે સીતાને લઈ જ જવાનું, એને પહેલેથી ખબર હતા,
Yeah.
પણ એ સૂકા પત્તા નતા. સમજે? ઇવન મહાભારતની અંદર જ્યારે કૃષ્ણનું મૃત્યુ આવે છે ત્યારે એને યાદ આવે છે કે હજી અર્જુનને હું મળ્યો નથી. એ સપનામાં અર્જુનને મળવા જાય છે. હા. એનાથી સહન નથી થતું અર્જુનને મળ્યા વગર. તો આપણે કહીએ તો દ્રષ્ટા હતું, બધું જોતા હતા, એવું નથી. આપણે કઈ સૂકા પત્તા નથી. દીકરાને કંઈ થાય તો આપણને થાય, પણ જ્યાં આપણે જોવા વાળા છે ત્યાં કંઈ થઈ નથી શકતું. એની સંવેદના છે ત્યાં કંઈ થઈ નથી શકતું. પણ જીવનની જે પરિધિ છે આપણને ખ્યાલ છે કે અહીંયા તો રડવાનું જ છે. આપણે કે ભાઈ નહીં રડે, ઇટ્સ ઇમ્પોસિબલ. સમજાય છે? મને કંઈ થતું નથી.
So, Rajen, I'm trying to understand.
Right, please.
I've not been to many of your sessions. It's
Right.
the first one. But you're talking about soul being free.
Hmm.
So, why doesn't the soul go where there is freedom?
No, the soul is bound by memory patterns.
Yeah, but the whole idea from what you're saying, the soul has to be free.
If we
Whatever
wanted to
you're
be free.
doing, yeah. But why is the soul here then? Why doesn't it go where?
That is
there
wrong
freedom?
questioning. That is wrong questioning. The fact of the matter is
Yeah.
that it is bound by sanskar. And do we want it to be free or not? Do we want to be free or not? If we want it to free, then we move on the path of spirituality. Many people are not interested. They cannot be forced. This is a luxurious path. Only a few come to this path and try to walk and be free. Nature, the whole effort of nature in evolution is consciousness. Now, I'll try to answer your question, which I cannot answer. I'll try to answer. At some time, God had some indigestion, right? And he said, I want to express myself. So out of Shiv, Shakti came, right? And Shakti came, and the minute Shakti came, there was one rule, that whatever possibilities are there with Shakti, Shiv has to go through. So, when Shakti came out of Shiv, she was of the highest vibration. But the possibility was also there of the lowest vibration. So that Shiv got trapped in Shakti, and for once he had to go through the whole spectrum. This is called involution, and he had to go and experience becoming a stone also. Everything is that, Tatva. Everything is that. But the rule of the game is that once he comes out, he has to first go through all experiences. Science also says that in this room, if there are so many oxygen atoms, and if whatever possibilities are there for those oxygen atoms, once they're even for a fraction of a millionth of a second, they have to go through that possibility. You see, this goes with all structures. So, the soul had to go through everything. And when it became a stone, all that it meant that there was not enough consciousness to reveal anything. The soul is there, but there is not enough consciousness to reveal it. Then nature's evolution started. So in the plant kingdom there is a little movement, so we see there is some consciousness. You get it? Then in animal kingdom there is little more movement, so we say there is little more consciousness. Now in the plants and the animals, whatever movement of attention is always out. An animal cannot drink his water and at the same time be aware that he is drinking water. If he is drinking water, he is drinking water. But if I'm drinking water, I can be aware also of drinking water. Or in last night's movie, there must have been a good actress. I can be thinking about her and drinking the water at the same time. No animal can do that. Right? You get what I'm trying to say? So nature brought consciousness up to man and then gave man self-consciousness. In animals, there is outgoing consciousness. In plant kingdom, there is outgoing consciousness. In the mineral kingdom, there is apparent no consciousness. You get what I'm trying to say? Now when it came to man, now nature said no more evolution. If you want to evolve, I've given you self-consciousness. You have to evolve on your own. So if man wants to go back to God, the soul wants to be free and go back to that divine sun from which the ray of the sun came out. He wants to merge, then he has to work for it himself. Nature will not do it for him. You get what I'm trying to say? Because nature has said that I have not given the animal self-consciousness, I have given you self-consciousness. That is my gift to you. Now you do it on your own. So we have to do it on our own. So then we have to understand the science. In what prison are we? Right? What is the kind of prison? What is the science of the prison I am in? And how to be free of that prison? Have any people before me been free of that prison? Can their experience help me to be free of the prison? You see? And that is how we learn. But it is a luxury. It is not something we have to do. We can still keep on living like the animal. Consciousness going outside. My home, my family, my food, my money. That's it. So then consciousness goes out. But if we want self-consciousness, so then with self-consciousness comes culture. You get it? Culture. So then with culture there is music, there is literature, there is art, right? All this it comes out of self-consciousness. And then further than that is spirituality, which goes beyond, where the self-consciousness merges into the higher self from where it came. You get it? So I don't know if I've explained what, but I've tried to explain why we are doing this. But the soul is in bondage, is a fact. And
so you could pass this life and your soul is not free.
Not free.
No.
So then you have to come back.
Yeah.
You have to come back.
And
You have
do
to
the
come
same
back.
The
thing.
soul keeps on coming back till it is free. Till it is free.
And the other question is, you were talking about the planets, the planetary influence. So can you do things, can you find out when the planets are, say, in your favor?
That is possible.
And
That
then
is
do
possible.
things accordingly? Okay.
It can help you. It can help you. Just don't use the planets as a mode of prediction. Use it as a mode of help. Supposing I want to have a child, but my wife is going through a Rahu period or something, or Rahu is aspecting her 5th house or something, then I say, okay, wait for a few months. I don't want to do it at this time. Right? So in that way I can use the planets, but don't use them for prediction. Use them as a help. Now supposing I am going to do some work, right? And I say that, sir, I don't know which planet is ruling just now. There's no way you will know, no way I will know, right? Which planet is ruling just now. But I say if Saturn is ruling and if Akash Tattva is present, then my work I'm not going to be able to do it. More chances of it failing rather than succeeding. So then I try to change the balance of the planets. How do I change it? I do a bit of alternate breathing. This alternate breathing, because it is because of one nostril that planet's influence is there at that time. The minute I keep on changing the nostrils, the planets change. And they come down to their basic influence, which is Earth. And Earth is always happiness. Always I succeed when Earth is there. So I do alternate breathing for some time. Go to give my exam. Go to give my interview. Right? So this changes the planets. It brings it back to Earth. Right? That way you can use it.
3 SRB જેમ કરવાના.
Ha. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. In the rhythm. Not without rhythm. It's a very dangerous pranayama. Not the way people are teaching it on TV. It's absolutely wrong.
So when we do this in the morning, are you balanced for
You're
the whole
balanced.
day?
Yeah. No. You can, if I get upset then. If I have a fight with you, I've definitely lost my balance to have a fight with you. Right? or may get a puncture in the car.
How long
તમે
can you do
કરીને
this?
બતાવો ને
Alternate
પ્રાણાયામ પાછું
breathing.
સરખી રીતે.
Alternate breathing, how long can you do for?
Your music?
Huh?
How long can you do it for?
We do it for a few minutes. We do it for 3 minutes
Yeah.
just now.
No, I mean normally, how much? 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Daily practice now.
Daily practice in the morning 3 minutes.
3 minutes બસ.
હા પણ હવે સે કંઈ કામ કરવા આપણે ગયા કોઈ ઇન્ટરવ્યુ માટે હવે ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે તો આપણે 1 મિનિટ કરી તો શકીએ ને જાતા પહેલા. We can do it.
Regularly 3 minutes.
How does this normal alternating breathing effects?
See, all the planets are related to breath. They express through the breathing and through thinking. Right? I can't change my thinking because right now I have no control over the thinking, but I can change the breathing pattern. The minute I change the breathing pattern, it goes back to Earth Tattva. And Earth Tattva always brings success. Right? It always brings success. That means everything will not be successful, but the chances are more that it will be successful.
મને પૂછે છે હું 3 years સર્વિસ સુતી વખતે કરું પછી મને ઊંઘ આવતી નથી. ઊંઘ નથી આવતી.
એટલે ઘણી વાર શું છે કે આપણને ટેન્શન વધારે ગમે શાંતિ કરતા.
ના ના ત્યારે સુવા માટે તો શાંતિ જોઈએ એટલે એની પહેલા આપણે 3 years સર્વિસ કરી લઈએ.
એટલે effort,
If they do it.
just relax.
Okay.
Just relax. Don't worry. For some time it will happen. Say, I don't want to sleep. I want to practice 3 years.
Okay.
Don't make a sleep a tension.
Okay.
And the only one part of the body, that is the conscious mind, sleeps. It will go to sleep. But if the conscious mind is overactive somewhere, it will not sleep.
Okay.
What you can do is do 1 minute of exercise. So thoda chakkar avse, do rhythmic breathing and go to sleep.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know whether I came across today.
Very well.
Very well. Very profound.
I think
Very
very
well.
well. I think
It's a very difficult thing to.
Initially it was difficult, but I think slowly with the examples it was
Yeah.
we was gripping into it, isn't it?
Yeah, very powerful.
We could grip into
It's
it.
a very difficult topic.
It's
to
very
explain.
difficult topic, yeah.
How events happen.
Because it's abstract, abstract topic abstract topic utari words માં is difficult.
Rajen, one question.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused. You're saying to get total freedom, you have a 50% partnership with the planetaries and 50% you can influence. So, if you can hold your anger or jealousy, whatever, does that mean that there's only 50% of freedom you're going to get?
No.
Because then you're saying that...
What I'm saying is that I want to be free. I want to be free. But I can't decide what I want to be free from in this moment. That the planets will decide. Supposing I say there's a lot of jealousy in me, I can't say I want to be free of jealousy in this moment because the planets may decide that in this moment they're going to create an event which will bring anger. You get it? But I can decide to be free. The minute anger comes, I can be free of anger. That is in my hands.
Yes.
But whether to bring anger or jealousy is in the planet's hands. That is what I say.
Emotions in planet's hand.
Because that will go according to the planetary cycles. Because that sanskar from which I want to be free it is made of planetary substance.
So the resolution to be free is in our hands, but the timing and sequencing is in the planet's hands.
What to be free from is in the planet's hands.
Okay.
We want freedom. The experience of freedom is the same.
Yeah. Whatever the emotion is.
But suppose when I'm coming, everything is predestined.
See, when we take predestined, we take events as predestined. Events are not predestined. The emotion is predestined. That emotion can attract so many kinds of similar events. You get what I'm trying to say? The event is not predestined. When we go to an astrologer, we are looking at predestiny in the form of events. That if he is giving a correct answer, is because he has some intuition that he is going to invite. This is not by reading the chart. By reading the chart, he can only say that this kind of thing is more possible and this is less possible. That is all he can see. But if he has developed some inner intuition, then he sees something beyond the chart. So that is not predestined. You get what I'm trying to say?
Then what is destiny?
Hmm?
What is destiny?
Destiny is what patterns have I come with. Hmm? Now, supposing one boy came to me, and he's running a shop for jeans. Okay? So, he says that I want to be a very rich man. So, if we count that what is his fortune, at present it is a shop of jeans. But if I look at his destiny, then I see that there is a possibility that he can become a rich man. So that is his destiny, right? So from his destiny, if he works hard, he can extract something and become a rich man. But then supposing he says, I want to be the richest man in the world. Then I say that is not in his destiny. You get it? So destiny is my bank balance. Fortune is what I extract from my bank balance. My bank balance may be, I have 10 shops. But out of that I have created only 3. So those are lying in my destiny. I have not extracted them. You get it? So destiny is full of so many things. You get what? You don't know? I'll tell you. Supposing a child. This child is born with so many brain cells, right? Now, those brain cells are not connected by synapses. So, as he grows, these synapses start connecting those brain cells. No, I'm sorry. The brain cells are connected by synapses, but those synapses are not alive. There's no electricity flowing there. So, in the first 3-4 years, many of them start becoming alive. Then by the 9th year, whatever synapses he has been able to make alive, they remain alive, the rest destroy themselves. So he came with that destiny, but out of that destiny he was able to extract only so much of a fortune. Same thing happens with our astral body. We come with so many patterns, that is our destiny. Right? But out of that pattern, all those patterns, I become a doctor. So I have only been able to extract so much. You get it? Then the rest of the patterns lie dormant. They are in my destiny. In my destiny, I may be a good painter. In my destiny, I may be a good singer. You get it? But it's not come out. It's lying dormant over there. So destiny, there's a lot. But if I say I want to be the greatest singer in the world, that may not be lying in my destiny also. Huh? So, you get what I'm trying to say?
Obviously, we have so many births. Now, in the bigger picture, so really the destiny is all those births. It's not just one birth.
No. The same thing repeats in all the births. What anger I have done yesterday is going to repeat tomorrow, and is going to be repeat day after, unless I break the momentum of that anger. Is the same law applies. The same law applies birth after birth. I can't do anything different till I am free. But if out of that 100 rupees anger, when I die, if there's 99, then the next birth will be 99. Different.
Yes.
It cannot be the same birth. You get? Because now something has changed. The structure has changed.
Now, emotion is not just one emotion, right? They're all connected.
Right.
So anger is connected with jealousy, jealousy with connected with everything. So what happens when I'm supposed to dealing with the anger? So are those also getting diluted at the same time, or I have to work at
whatever is connected? One emotion comes, it sends many telephone lines to so many places. So definitely, but heat is heat. Whether heat is of jealousy, heat is of anger. Heat is heat. Tapa is tapa.
Yeah.
You get? And I am holding that heat. That is called dharana. Holding the heat. Dharana leads to dhyana. Dhyana leads to samadhi.
How to control the negative thoughts?
We don't want, in this line there is no control.
No, I know there is no. That means you just become aware. Supposing if I'm thinking and just a negative thought may come about something which I don't want it.
That means you're fighting with it. I don't want it is. The fact of the matter is it is there.
Yeah.
Right? You know what is statue? Pause.
Yeah.
What?
That you stop
Stop where?
where that thought is.
Is. So what does it mean?
Hold the last
It
thought.
means hold.
Hold the
Last
Thought.
thought.
last thought.
Yeah.
Hold the
Last.
last thought. This is very powerful. Statue. Hold the last thought. He comes, he says something to me, I get angry. The last thought is, he has said this to me. I hold, he has said this to me. Huh? It's like a jungle. Many other thoughts are coming. Okay, tomorrow he'll say it to him. I better tell him something. I better put him in his place. Tomorrow he'll tell me again. If I don't do something, then you. All these thoughts are trying to hypnotize me. I'm saying, no, he has said this to me. I'm holding on to that last thought, statue. And all these other thoughts are passing by.
You know what I mean by supposing if you're sitting here and if then, without rhyme or reason, thoughts come.
There is nothing like not rhyme or reason. It has to be in the subconscious for it to come to the conscious.
So
Nothing can come which is not in me. Nothing can come which is not in me. Nothing comes from outside.
No, that is true.
Now, if this thought has come, just hold that thought. Don't run away from that thought. But what happens, you see, if Duryodhan's Ratha comes, then Dushasan's Rath comes to help him, and then Shakuni's Rath will come to help him, and there Bhishma will say, oh, my son is in danger, let me go to help him, and then a big Jamela happens. And this is what happens with us all the time.
That was my next question.
We can't just say, okay, Duryodhan's Rath has come, Duryodhan, we can't hold and let all these other Raths pass by the side. We don't let that happen. We get, he has come, and then that's it. Statue. Statue means the last thought. I'm stuck with the last thought. And if I can hold it for a specific amount of time, something happens inside. Something very deep happens inside. Negative or positive, it makes no difference. But can you hold one thought? You won't be able to hold it. The minute you go to hold it, a wave of thoughts will come and take me away.
That's what I mean. I tried.
A lot of practice.
Yeah, I tried, this statue and all that, but then, as you say, lots of other thoughts come and it just takes it away.
But it can be done. It can be done.
My experience મને કે અનુભવ કે છ બ્રીથિંગ જે કરું છું પહેલા બધા કરતી હતી for around 1.5 years. Then this 6 breathing every day. Okay, sometimes negative point આવે, it stays for a while. થોડી વાર પછી એનો વિચાર સારો આવે કે ના ના એનો વાંક નથી.
બરાબર છે, વાંધો નહીં. But what I'm trying to say કે જે જગ્યાએ જીવ બળે,
No, it's not.
જ્યાં આપણો જીવ બળે, એ બહુ કીમતી moments છે. Don't lose them.
Okay.
Don't lose them.
એટલે thought ની અંદર બી આપણો જીવ બળે તો એને પકડી લેવાનો.
Any place, કારણ કે જીવ એટલે real I, અહમ એટલે false I. અને જ્યાં જીવ બળે ત્યાં જીવનું ફિલિંગ છે, ત્યાં જો હોલ્ડ કરશો તો જીવનો મુક્તિનો મોકો છે. એ કહેવા માંગુ છું. બીજું બધું હું સમજુ છું, પોઝિટિવિટી આવે. What we want is we want freedom, and that freedom can only come જ્યાં જીવ બળતું હોય. જીવ ન બળે તો it's not in bondage. We are not realizing the bondage. You get it? And many moments come throughout the day. Many moments come throughout the day.
જીવ બળે ત્યારે હોલ્ડ કરવાનું.
Hold the heat. Hold the heat.
Approximately કેટલી વાર? How long you have to?
અરે 1 second તો કરો. 1 second is dharana, 10 seconds is dhyana, 100 seconds is samadhi. 1 second.
એક સેકન્ડની અંદર શું મુક્તિ થઈ જાય આપણે?
ખરું. It takes time. આમાં you see, સાધનામાં આપણો ટાઈમ કામ નથી લાગતો. દુનિયાની અંદર હું 10 રૂપિયા એમને આપું તો 1 વર્ષ પછી 12 રૂપિયા મને પાછા આપશે કે 11 રૂપિયા પાછા આપશે. તો આઈ નો કે આટલું ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરું તો આટલું મળે. અહીંયા એવું નથી. આ દુનિયા જુદી છે. ઘણા લોકો આખી જિંદગી ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરે કંઈ નથી મળતું અને કોઈક આજે ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરે ને તરત મળી જાય છે. યુ સી, એટલે કઈ રીતે ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરું છું એ વધારે ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. મને ફાયદો કેટલો મળશે એમ ઇન્વેસ્ટ તો ફાયદો કે ગણ્યા કરજે, કોઈ દિવસ આવવાનો જ નથી. મારો પોઈન્ટ. અને બસ એન્જોયમેન્ટ માટે ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરું છું હા, ટુ એન્જોય. તો વેન આઈ એન્જોય સમથિંગ પછી એની ફલની ઈચ્છા પડી જાય છે. મારો પોઈન્ટ પણ because the very act of doing sadhana is enjoyment. મારો પોઈન્ટ પકડાય. The very act of holding the thought is so much enjoyment. What is going to happen later doesn't matter. So it will happen immediately. But I'm holding it, now what will happen? Now it will never happen. See, it will never happen. Here the rules are different.
When, say, an artist who's engrossed and then probably no thoughts are coming, music-wise or dance-wise or whatever, where are they? What is the relationship?
They experience that inner silence. But if you see most artists, their their relationship life is a mess. Because they can't translate that inner silence to their relationships. So it remains there. To go to the temple, experience and come back. But their whole life does not become the temple. You get what I'm trying to say? So even singers, they go in and at one point they experience that. But if you see the anger of singers, you'll be shocked. It's double the anger of normal people. They're not free. Still they experience very high states of consciousness. Supposing you say a structure. Within this structure is a spectrum. I can experience the lower part of the structure, the higher parts of it. So those singers, those artists, they experience the higher part of their own structure. But they don't change their structure. The sanskar does not change. But within their bank balance of sanskars, they go into the higher parts of that and they come back. Again in their normal life, the same anger, the same jealousy, the same in relationships.
You said there were 4 things, Pilu. Water, the glass, the feeling of the water and the feeling of the glass. Like they had the feeling of, or the sensitivity of what the jeev could be. But they've not been able to separate it yet.
They touch that point and they come back. Poets, you've read William Blake. Every poetry touches the soul. Every poetry touches. He's had a glimpse into that. We went to see those paintings there. I mean, you see those portraits of Rembrandt, it's as if he's looking at us, but he's looking at the inner soul. I mean, what a state he must be in to paint that. We went to the National Gallery that day. Those paintings are, I was shocked. I mean, he's looking at us, but he's looking at his own inner soul. I mean, how to paint that on paper, on a canvas, sorry. But I don't know about his normal life, how he related with his wife and with his children, I don't know. But he definitely saw that state.
No, most genius, I think, can't relate to.
But all this refining exercise, SRP, would it help all?
That is why I said, if breathing is in rhythm, then the foundation is there. Then everything else becomes easy. If my breathing is angry, how am I going to observe anger? I'm angry on my breathing, going like this. How am I going to observe anger? It won't happen. But if my breathing is in rhythm and I'm angry, then I can separate from that. It's very easy. It's the foundation.
That means emotional pattern has got different breathing system to SRB breathing system.
All emotions.
That's why you can catch it.
That's why you can catch it. One person came to Tawarya said, I want a divorce from my wife. Okay, why do you want to divorce from your wife? So our patrikas are not matching, and I realized after the marriage my patrika is not matching. What he observed we don't know, but I'm supposing he observed the breathing pattern. We suppose. Okay, tu khotu bole chhe. You're lying. You've fallen in love with this girl over there, and you've drawn up this kundli to show me that you want to divorce your wife. You see? To people who can read the breathing, they can read everything.
Ayani life ma 3SRB આખો દિવસ is very difficult થઈ જાય છે.
Huh?
3SRB music.
તો શ્વાસ લેવું difficult પડે છે?
Not me.
હા.
એટલે આખા દિવસમાં આપણે કેમ ગાવ આપણે સાંભળો છે.
રાધા કૃષ્ણ.
3SRB.
એ તો પ્રેક્ટિસ નો સવાલ છે ભાઈ.
બેકગ્રાઉન્ડમાં ચાલતું હોય
પ્રેક્ટિસ નો સવાલ
ક્યાંક છૂટી જાય પછી
એમની દુકાન છે એને કઈ બદલવાનું તો છે નહીં દુકાનમાં જે કામ કરવાના છે એ જ કરવાના છે પણ એ ચાલતું હશે તો એને વારી ઘડીએ યાદ આવ્યા કરશે કે 5 શ્વાસ લો 10 શ્વાસ લો ટાઈમર મૂકી દો ટાઈમર મૂકી દો ઘડિયાળમાં દર કલાકે પીટ પીટ હવે પીટ પીટ વાગું તો 5 શ્વાસ તો આપણે લઈ શકીએ કે નહીં ધીમે ધીમે વધતું જશે we have to keep on reminding ourselves કે ભાઈ હું દુકાનમાં કામ કરું છું ને શ્વાસ જ નથી લેતો how is it possible it's not possible
બ્રીથિંગ ની પેટર્ન એસઆરબી ની ખાલી પ્રશ્ન તમારે ગઈકાલે માં ગુરુવારે વાત કરી કે હેબિટ ફોર્મ કરે તો હેબિટ ફોર્મ્સ એનો અહંકાર આવે પાછો તમે કહી નતું કે હેબિટ ફોર્મિંગ તમે કઈ વાત કરી
મેડિટેશન નો અહંકાર આવે આ તો બ્રીથિંગ જ કરીએ છીએ ને એનો અહમ કોઈ દિવસ આવે જ નહીં એનો અહમ આવે જ નહીં
એવરીબડી બ્રીથ્સ
હેલો રેપિટેશન વાળું દ્રોણાચાર્ય તમે વાત કરી દ્રોણાચાર્ય એક ગુરુ
એટલે મેકિંગ અ ગુડ હેબિટ ગુડ હેબિટ જો દ્રોણાચાર્યની ખાસિયત છે કે એ કૌરવનો પણ ગુરુ હતો અને પાંડવોનો ગુરુ પણ હતો રાઈટ એટલે જે ખરાબ આદત એટલે કૌરવ અને સારી આદત એટલે પાંડવ એટલે એ બેવનો ગુરુ પેટર્ન તો એ જ વાપરવું પડે મારો પોઈન્ટ પકડાય છે પેટર્ન તો એ જ વાપરવું પડે
So does it mean we have only 5 good?
That is why I said સાધનાનો અહમ નવો બનાવવો પડે પછી અજ્ઞાતમાં જઈને એને છોડી દેવાનું પેલા તો એના કામ તો લેવડાવવું પડે કે નહીં એમની પાસે હું કહું કે સાધના ન કરું કારણ કે એનું અહમ બને તો
વેરી ગુડ સારું દ્રોણાચાર્ય સારું હેબિટ વેરી ગુડ
એટલે the guru teaches the shishya to listen એટલે guru tells the shishya કે listening with the ears is one thing but when I'm speaking you vibrate your tailbone with what I'm speaking એટલે અત્યારે એ સુષુપ્ત છે હવે તમે બોલો અને હું એ tailbone ને vibrate કરું with your what you're speaking So what the prana in your words, not your words. Words have a meaning and words have a prana. My point is that prana travels up my backbone and enters the brain through another door. This enters through the ears. And this enters through another door. And I understand something different.
Very nice.
But that requires a abhyas જોઈએ એટલે યુઝ્યુઅલી આપણે શું કરીએ કે when we આપણે કોઈ પ્રવચન કે કોઈના કથામાં ગયા પ્રવચનમાં ગયા તો we don't sit like this. I'll tell you how we sit. If I can have these 2 pillows. I'm just talking.
બહુ મજા આવે છે ઘણું જાણવા મળે છે.
So the idea is to sit like this. You have to take and keep this part out. And then you sit down. When you sit like this, suddenly you'll see this area is free. હવે એ બોલે છે ને you just sense that area and slowly it will start vibrating with that tone અને you will feel something running up તો કાન બંધ થઈ જશે અને આખી એક જુદી સાંભળવાની એક ઓલી થઈ જશે it's a totally different way of listening હા નહીં એટલે આમાં શું છે હજી થોડા this is little less આ તકિયો એવો જોઈએ where your knees are little down હા, અને your buttocks are little up. There's a slight slant like this. એટલે edge ની જરૂર નથી, બસ થોડું slant. એ slant હશે તો you will feel that within the perineum કોઈક એવું છે જે vibrate થાય છે. એટલે પછી supposing you are speaking, હવે તમારા વોઇસમાં છે મંત્રયુક્ત અવાજ હોય, હા, તો એ ખાલી એમનેમ you are not speaking, એની અંદર રેઝોનન્સ છે મંત્ર, તો આ એકદમ વાઇબ્રેટ થવા માંડશે. હા, એટલે ખાલી then I'm not listening to you, but I'm eating your prana at the same time. And that is what the guru wants the disciple to do. He doesn't want him to listen. He wants him to eat him.
Ah.
Right. That is
That is the secret of the oral tradition.
The prana exchanges. He passes his prana to the disciples. It exchanges. And it cannot exchange through the formatory thinking. You get it? It cannot exchange through language. There has to be some other exchange.
તમે ઓલ્ટરનેટિવ બ્રીથિંગ પાછું આવું છું. You
હાજી.
explain to me and I understand.
હાજી.
બધા બેઠા છે
હાજી.
એના માટે કે આપણે ઓલ્ટરનેટિવ બ્રીથિંગમાં રિધમમાં જાય છે અને આમને આમ કરીએ છીએ.
ના, એ
એમાં
આપણે
difference
મ્યુઝિક
શું?
ચાલુ કરીને કરીએ. 'ઘણા લોકો લેટ બહુ આવ્યા એટલે ઘણું બધું ઓલરેડી
બોટ ઉપડી ગઈ હતી, મધ્યાહન પહોંચી ગઈ હતી.
જો ખબર હોત ને તો we would have waited. We would have waited. 1, 2, 3 in, 5, 6 out. 1, 2, 3 in, 5, 6 out. One, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. What is simple? So keep this in your mobile phones, this music. And any place where you're feeling upset, immediately go down to 1 minute of this exercise. Start the music and look. So bring balance in life.
And does it matter which side you start?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you can, remember to take in the last breath and stop. Then release it after. If you can't, it doesn't matter.
So it has to be done with the fast music.
With the fast music.
And
And if you're working with cancer patients, you can do it with the slow music.
slow music.
Especially after they've had their meals, you make them sit down. Slow music, you make them do this exercise. It will work wonders. And this thing has been reported even in the medical journals, right?
પણ બીમાર માણસો
હા, જ્યારે આપણે હોસ્પિટલમાં એ લોકો પાસે કરાવતા જાય તો ઘણીવાર ફાસ્ટમાં ન થાય તો સ્લો 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 જે નોર્મલ બ્રીથિંગ
normal breathing, yeah.
you can use that. Especially if they've had their food